Chapter 5. Did I faint or die? The soul is neither born, and nor does it die. The Bhagavad Gita. In my early to mid-30s, I was working an extremely hard physical job outdoors and cycling off-road 11 miles there and 11 back. I was also drinking on the weekends, been sober 5 years now. In 2015, I began to feel tired all the time, and I had to have a fasting blood test to check liver function. It's not meant to be anything traumatic or life-threatening, just a small vial of blood taken from your arm after not eating for 24 hours, but I felt, and always do, that I should be stopping people taking blood from me. It feels very wrong. I followed instructions and fasted for 24 hours and walked a few miles to the doctor's, further depleting my blood sugar levels, and said hello to the friendly staff. I was nervous and jokingly said I felt I shouldn't let them do it, and sat in the large recliner chair. The nurse said, "All right, love, you aren't a fainter, are you?" And I said, "No, never fainted," which is true, and I've still never fainted. I've lost a lot more blood from injuries than this was taking to fill 3 small vials and not had any problems at all. I've even fixed my own broken nose a couple of times and removed my own staples from my abdomen, which shocked the nurse, who couldn't get them out. Just illustrating I am not weak or squeamish. She put the needle in my arm and I felt fine. I looked away out of the window, looked back at her, and she asked if I'm okay. I said I was fine then. Smash cut to blackness for a fraction of a second, like falling backwards into cold water, and then I'm no longer there, just no longer Ed. I was just a point of awareness with no body or sense of identity, in what looked like deep space, looking out at what looked like a distant galaxy, spiraling like the Milky Way. Extremely vivid and, yes, more real than this world seems now. I looked slightly to my right, and there was a stacked column of aligned spheres. The column was actually about 8 spheres high and wide, ending flush at my end, so the faces were visible, and they were reaching off to the galaxy in the distance, millions of them. Each one was different. In each one was my face at various ages and in different lives, different wars, different uniforms and injuries, etc., some bandaged. I remember one had a bandage over one eye and was smoking, with smoke billowing behind him from a burning vehicle. It was like a battle aftermath. In the middle were a few that weren't depicting war, and in the middle of those was the one I'd come out of, this one, and it was just me as I was used to seeing in the mirror. They were all like a fisheye lens view of my face and upper body, with me looking into the camera, so to speak. To my right, in front of and facing the spheres, was a humanoid being. He, I felt it was male, was watching the spheres, watching my lives. He was made entirely from blue neon lines like veins, almost like an X-ray of a humanoid, with 2 bright yellow eyes. He was sitting at a desk of sorts or control panel, also made of this energy, and he turned his head to look at me, and I didn't hear him speak, but he said to me, mind to mind, quite surprised to see me,
"What are you doing here?"
I didn't reply, as I didn't know what was going on. Then he looked back at the spheres, and I did too, and I knew I could pick any to go into and that I had to go back now, but I chose the same one, as my family are here, and bam, I shot into it and woke up. At first I thought I was at home in bed. I had totally shut down. Ed was gradually loading in again, which happens every day when I wake up, FYI. Is that usual? I opened my eyes and was still lying on the nurse's recliner chair, and she had a hold of my left arm and had called a guy in from outside, as she was panicking a bit. I'd been gone for 10 seconds and she thought I'd died. There's no way to know if my heart actually stopped or not, but her reaction would suggest total shutdown, and she must have seen people just faint before, and this had freaked her out. I said, "WTF, did I faint?" And she said, "Oh yeah, just stay there, we'll get you some water." And I said, "I went somewhere else, WTF." And she said back, "What?" "Stay there, love." She asked a guy to get me water, he did. I drank it. I started coming back to normal quite quickly, tuning back into here. I had a glucose energy drink in my pocket as I thought I'd need it after fasting, to walk home again, and drank that.